car, and this right here is the 21 Genesis G80 3.5T Prestige. We're going to answer some questions from the folks that are tuned in live first, and then we'll trickle in the stuff. Trickle in? That doesn't make any sense. We're going to trickle in the stuff that was asked on Instagram at MilesPerHr. You can follow me there, or on TikTok at MilesPerHr, same deal. And then we'll also put in the stuff that was asked on the YouTube's community page. But Brett Adams is manning the camera as usual, and he is going to pose those questions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live. Let's go for it.
So first from the AE, does it ride better than its rivals?
The AE asks if it rides better than its rivals. So first I'll frame what the competitive spread looks like for the G80. This is a mid-size luxury sedan. It's intending to compete with vehicles like the BMW 5 Series, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, the Audi A6, and the Volvo S90, vehicles of that caliber. So the direct rivals to the 3.5T are going to be vehicles like the Mercedes-Benz E450 that has a 6-cylinder, like this one has a 6-cylinder, the BMW 540i that also has a 6-cylinder, and the Volvo S90 T6, that one only has a 4-cylinder across its range, but those are kind of its direct rivals. Does it ride better than those vehicles? I was hugely impressed with the Volvo S90's ride quality, whereas I had read some things about it being kind of firm. I thought it was really good. However, I find that the G80's ride quality is possibly the best in the segment. BMW is a bit too firm. The Mercedes-Benz E-Class rides pretty well, but you can hear all the bumps that it goes over. The G80 is just like, they killed it with the suspension tuning, and this is riding on 20-inch wheels, so that's pretty darn good.
That's perfect. Someone just asked one of the
So
the
these are 20-inch wheels, and these are on the Prestige package. So the 3.5T brings with it 19-inch wheels, and then you can upgrade to the Prestige that has these 20-inch wheels. I like these wheels a lot. They're super clean, and you can't mess with a good 5-spoke. So these look great, and this color is Tasman Blue Metallic. I think it's like $400 extra.
Aiden Smith asked how much it costs.
This one right here is $69,000, chunk of change, but the starting figure for the Genesis 2.0T is 48, just under 49, and the starting figure for the 3.5T is 66. 3.5T Prestige is 66. Nope, 3.5T is 66.
What's the highest you can get to?
This is going to be about as fully loaded as you can get this car. So right around the 70 mark is going to be completely maxed out.
Kevin wants to see the engine.
Okay. You can do that. Just for you, Kevin. I'll show you the engine.
And then Radic asks, does it have any autonomical assistance?
Autonomous, perhaps. It does have some active safety features, and those are all standard driving assistance features. Let's first quickly talk about the engine. So you can get the Genesis G80 in entry form with a 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that makes 300 horsepower. This is the twin turbo V6, the 3.5 liter, and it makes 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque, connected to whichever engine you choose, an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and your choice of a rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This one is the all-wheel drive. Gets to 60 in 5 seconds flat with this engine. Fuel economy is 21 combined. But he was asking, what were they just asking about something before that? About, I forgot.
I don't think so.
I have a terrible memory. Oh, I was like half answering something.
Oh, it was about, someone said that autonomical assistance.
Oh yeah, autonomous driving features. This one's yeah. Autonomical, I don't think that was the right term. Semi-autonomous driving assistance features is kind of the full industry preferred term. And yeah, it's got adaptive cruise control. It's got lane keep assist with steering intervention. It has, what else? Blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic and intervention in the rear cross. If it's like, if it detects a vehicle coming behind you and you're not stopping, it'll actually put the brakes on for you. Yeah, a lot of good stuff, and that's all standard.
Is the back or front seats more comfortable, like none has?
Well, you know, I haven't sat in the back seats all too much. I sat in them briefly. I haven't been driven around I know that the seats in general are supremely comfortable. We'll hop in the back seats, and I'll tell you for sure whether I think the back seats or the front seats are more comfortable. You know what? I'm going to say the front seats because the front seats in this vehicle have massage.
Oh.
The back seats do not have massage, and they're only heated. They're not heated and ventilated like the front seats are. And you can't, like, in some vehicles, you can adjust the angle of the seat back so you can make it recline more, but this one you can't do that. So I'm going to say the front seats are more comfortable for the additional stuff you have, but the basic seat design and the perforated Nappa leather and all that, it feels really good back here. And you've got this center console that comes down with some storage and cup holders, and here are your heating controls. Let me turn on the car. I'll rev it a bit, and then we'll show you more of the interior stuff. Thanks again for folks who are tuned in live. I appreciate it. It's really fun to have you guys engaged and asking questions that I can answer directly.
Wow, that's quiet.
Yeah. I mean, this car is not necessarily about being overtly sporty.
Yeah.
It's probably mostly engine noise.
Yeah.
You're not hearing like anything from the
No, there's
exhaust.
hardly anything at all.
That's kind of funny. And I had it like, that was in sport mode. Not that it really makes that much of a difference. There's not a dual stage exhaust system or anything like that. But yeah.
Is this car worth it to buy? Or okay, I'll word that differently. You think this car is better than an E-Series or E-Class and a 5 Series? Like, what would you do?
Who asked that?
A few different people.
Okay.
Sahil,
So you.
and then Bradley's car reviews.
Okay, so do I think this vehicle is better than its competitors? Better than the E-Class, which would be the E450, better than the 5 Series, which would be the 540i X-Drive? I find that at this price point, it's hard. You can't really call this car a bargain anymore when it's near $70,000, because the BMW 540i X-Drive, which would be the kind of direct rival with the all-wheel drive in this one, is $62,000. The Mercedes-Benz E450 4MATIC, again, more direct rival, $63,000. Both those vehicles make less power, $335 for the 540i, $362 for the E450, but they don't have a lot, like actually there are very few standard features that this vehicle has as standard in the 3.5. So you do get some value out of this car, but it's not the wow bargain that's, I don't know, that perhaps like, you know, Hyundais and Kias have been in their segments previously, Genesis being its own full-on luxury end of the Hyundai Kia portfolio. You might expect some like crazy value. There's not crazy value here. It is a valuable purchase in that you're getting a ton of stuff that you would have to pay extra for right up front in this vehicle. I find that the 3.5 liter engine in this is a great engine. It's not going to be as sporty as, for example, the 540i or the E450 in terms of driving dynamics. You're not getting a great exhaust note. It's much more focused on the luxury. It does luxury supremely well. If that is your intent, it's a super stylish vehicle. If that is what you like, then it really stacks up very well against its rivals. Is it the one I would choose between the set? I would have to honestly go spec out, seriously, I would have to go spec out an E450 that I would like, a 540i X-Drive that I would like, and one of these, probably not as fully decked out as this one is, and then, you know, looking at the options, say, hey, this seems like the best value to me. I can't really answer that directly.
Marcus wants to know about the handling.
Totally adequate. It is not, it's super not focused on driving engagement and fun to drive, kind of like a BMW 540i is. So if you get out of a 540i and you hop into one of these, you might be left wanting in terms of the feedback through the steering wheel and the agility to get the car through the corners. It doesn't drive like a smaller car. It drives like the car that it is. And I would say that the BMW 540i drives a bit like a smaller car, and that's more fun.
Radek asks, how about fuel consumption?
Fuel consumption, 21 combined MPGe for the 3.5T. Man, I do not know the figure of the 2.0T off the top of my head, but it's not the best in its segment. The 540i gets better fuel economy, the E450 gets better fuel economy, the S90 gets better fuel economy. So definitely not in this favor, and I've watched the fuel gauge drop.
Kevin said he heard the key looks awesome.
Key does look cool. So here's your key. This one's got marked up. This is not a brand new vehicle to me, but so it's got like this rubberized backing. Got the Genesis crest there. It's got this kind of knurled finish around the top and bottom of the key, and then you've got all these settings you can do. So one of the cool things about this vehicle is it's got the smart park feature that Hyundai vehicles have. So if you're in a single car garage and it's really tight and you're not sure you can get in there and easily open and close the door, you're worried about dinging something, you can just back the car out. Or if you're kind of lined up in a space and you're worried that you would ding the car with getting it in, you can back it in. It's got remote start, unlock, it's got a power trunk that may not work because the car is on. And I'm trying to press this button. You can also just press the trunk release here. 13 cubic feet of space in the trunk, which is right on par for the segment. I think the 5 Series has 1 more cubic feet, but you know, a fine trunk. You can't fold down those rear seats though, so you don't have additional length at your disposal if you've got longer items.
Nicholas asked, does the door close by itself if you forget to close it all the way?
Yes, it does. It does have soft close doors. That's pretty awesome.
Oh.
Takes care of the rest for you. That is cool. I do like that feature. And again, massaging seats, hard to argue with that. Let's look at this interior a bit closer, because this is one of the ways that the G80 really stands out from its competitors. You know, it's not going to win in the fuel economy battle.
Whoa, my seat just went back by itself.
Yeah, so that's one cool thing where it'll have this, it's called ease of entry or something like that, where the seat will automatically go back and then will adjust back to the forward position when you're moving. I love the matte wood trim here. I love texture.
I always like this in cars.
Yeah, right?
You know, any wood piece.
And when it feels and looks real, this is just so good. So I love this trim, and it creaks a little bit, but honestly, that's kind of par for the course with German cars. But it's all throughout here. They didn't go crazy on the piano black, which is sort of like, it's a cop-out to me of just using piano black. It's lazy, but they went crazy with the wood trim, and it looks really upscale. This cabin is beautiful. I like this dune colored leather for the seats. I mentioned they're heated and ventilated up here. They're also massaging, and you've got 2 zones of climate control there, and then a 3rd zone back here. This one has the leatherette wrapping for the upper dashboard. It's got a head-up display, and this is pretty neat. It's got a 3D instrument cluster that may be hard to see. Here, I'll grab this for a sec just to see if I can show this. So close your door for a sec, because it might.
Oh man, my seat goes forward.
Yeah, so it's got different layers of the 3D. So you can have it on this, which is normal. You can have it even crazier 3D, or you can have it be a flush, like a normal 2D display. This is pretty cool. Someone asked about, let me see who asked about, Steven asked about the speaker system. It's a Lexicon 21 speaker sound system, and it's really good. 21 speakers, that's a ton in a mid-sized sedan. That's kind of crazy.
It's like a little overkill, I think.
It does feel like overkill, but when you're in here and you're enjoying the sound system, yeah, like I haven't taken it past, I think, a 1/3 on the volume scale. Like, first of all, this is a 14.3 inch widescreen infotainment. It's crazy wide, and this is standard on the 3.5. But when I'm going up in volume, I haven't taken it past like a 1/3, because it just gets so loud. It gets so loud. It's crazy. This is pretty good, especially because, you know, if you can use the touchscreen functionality, then it's great. But this controller down here isn't super intuitive. It works. It's just not as intuitive while you're in motion.
There's a few people saying they don't like the steering wheel. It looks kind of funny.
It does look kind of funny, I'll be honest. Having just the single bar effectively, it does have, you know, cutouts here, so you could call it a 4-spoke, I suppose. But it does look a little funny, especially because it's downturned. It's like a frowny steering wheel. I don't love this, but they're not the first ones to do this. I think Mercedes-Benz with their S-Class, they have a steering wheel that looks similar. but it somehow looks better. This just looks a little downturned and not so fun. But the feel of it is great. I love they put leather over the airbag cover. The Genesis crest looks like really high quality. All the brush surfaces. Yeah, I think the fit and finish of this cabin are really where it stands out from the rivals. Because I've been in BMWs and Mercedes where I'm just poking around. I'm like, this feels cheap, this feels cheap. There's not really much in here that I feel is of lower quality. And this is also as a microfiber suede headliner and a panoramic glass roof. And I love the way that the cover for the roof opens and closes. It does it from the middle.
Oh.
Yeah, I just think it's cool. It's a neat detail.
What question was it?
Yeah, we probably get questions coming in.
Is a sports package available for this car?
There is not a sports package, and that really also speaks to, like, in the BMW and the Mercedes, there are additional sporty engineering details you can add. At BMW's M Performance, for example, Mercedes-Benz's AMG packages that you can add onto the car to improve the damping or braking performance. This vehicle doesn't have that. It's kind of a one-shot deal, and that really speaks to its intent of being first and foremost a luxury vehicle that has certainly sufficient power. 375 horsepower is the most of the competitors that I mentioned. It's not the quickest to 60. It gets to 60 in 5 seconds, whereas like the 540i xDrive gets to 60 in 4.7. The Mercedes-Benz 450 gets 60 in 4.7 as well. So it's not the quickest, but it has plenty of power and it's smooth. The ride quality is super smooth, and we should probably just get to driving.
Oh, Bradley's car review says, Miles, you know you can parallel and perpendicular park using the key? So not just getting in and out of a spot.
I knew you could perpendicular park. I didn't know you could parallel park using the key. Well, I know, so you can press this button here, and then it enters a parking thing. I know you can then allow the car to park itself, but, well, let's just show the key stuff, because that's just cool. So hop out, and we'll just let the car do some things. We're in a safer spot. Do some things. Well, let's see. I'm going to see if I can allow it to parallel park itself, or just go through. Go use your truck because it only, I think, detects parking spaces when there are other vehicles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Guys, don't mind my truck being the dirtiest it's ever been in its lifetime. I apologize. Doesn't want to do it?
Yeah, even though there are all these spaces here. So the way you do it is you press this and hold this button here that I showed, and then it gives you this prompt on the screen. It says searching for parking spaces. You have to drive forward slowly below 12 miles per hour, and then it looks for a parking space. And despite the fact that we're in a parking lot of parking spaces, it may only want it. I'll try on this. I'll flip it around and try on that one.
So sad. So dirty. Poor car. Nope, doesn't want to do it?
Alright, well, in that case though, I'm just gonna put it in park.
Should we just go for a drive?
I'm gonna try the key.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's like the key is left the vehicle.
Does it have to be when the car's off, like in a time where you can't get into it, and so you have to?
No, parking on. It would have been that I was still in the parallel parking. Not in vehicle, yeah, that's the point.
yeah, that's the point. Then maybe just try it like that.
I'm gonna remote start it. So press and hold after I lock it, remote start it. Okay. Now press and hold on the key. Let's try to back it up first. There we go. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know about this feature, that would just be a super great prank.
You just go by.
You're just like walking. You're just walking the parking lot like that direction. Oh, come on! And the car's just leaving. You have to be close enough to the car. If you get too far away, then it won't work anymore.
That's bye, Marcus. Thank you for making me feel better about my dirty car.
Oh, there you go. Okay, then let's have it go forward. I do like those quad design headlights that wrap around on the side.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Come on. There we go.
Walking in your car.
Yeah. I made an awful TikTok about how walking your car is better than walking your dog because you don't have to pick up poop. That was the TikTok. It didn't do well, as you might suggest, as you might guess. All right, so that's the smart park feature. If you can parallel park this thing with the key, then that's news to me. I did not know about that feature, but that's super cool.
Should we go for a drive?
Yeah, let's go for a drive.
Yeah, Marcus said trucks have to be dirty. If not, they ain't real trucks. Yeah, that's why mine's dirty.
Yeah, that's the reason why.
That's exactly why it's dirty.
We'll take it. All right, so this is the startup. I'll let Brett put on his seatbelt first.
Safety first.
Safety first, guys.
In this super fast car.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be crazy. So when this thing comes to life.
This does have a remote start, right?
It does, yeah. I just used it.
Yeah.
You were standing right next to me.
I was kind of asking for them, like, I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, you were standing next to me, Brett. Come on. All right, so we're now in, what drive mode are we in? We'll start in comfort. But I think the best part about the 3.5 compared to the 2.0, I've driven the 2.0, was that the 2.0 sounded like it was working pretty hard. It did make 300 horsepower, so it made plenty of power. And it still gets some really good standard features.
Bradley's car reviews is giving out the greatest tips.
Oh yeah, Bradley knows a ton about Genesis vehicles.
Yeah,
Seriously, he does.
He's
on it with these cars.
I honestly should have been reading all of what he was saying.
Yeah.
But he was giving like the exact like tutorial over text about how to make this thing parallel park. And
Bradley, stoked that you're here. Thank you, because these are things I specifically didn't know about this vehicle. I can give you the experiential perspective, which is very nice.
Bruh, why can't real life be anime? Asked. Will there be a night drive of this car?
There will be a night drive of this car. I can't answer the anime question. I just don't know. That's meta, and I can't answer that. But yeah, there will be a night drive of this car, day drive, all that good stuff. Although in the day drive, we'll notice as I drive around, there's some popping noise that comes from the rear of the car that I'm gonna make, when Brett's done with this video, I'm gonna make him drive around with me and figure out what the heck this noise is, because it's driving me nuts. I pressed on every panel and all the seats and all that in the back seat, and I couldn't figure it out. This is one cool feature of this car, just side note. The blind spot view monitor, so whenever you turn the signal one direction or the other,
I like that.
Shows you the camera view, which is super cool. They've got this on everything from Hyundai vehicles, but
Is that just out the side, or is it pointing backwards?
it's pointing backwards. So it's a camera that's kind of like housed, I think, in the mirror, facing back that direction, and really just shows you, actually just on the outside of the mirror, facing back that direction, and shows you the blind spot, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Love that feature. And then when we get on the highway, I'll get to show you how good this adaptive cruise control and lane keep system is. It's honestly probably one of the best I've experienced. And I'm including Mercedes-Benz in this and Tesla. Like, honestly, it's so good.
Last week, the M3?
Yeah, the M3.
Did that have it?
No, the M3 had like, it just had a lane keep assist, but it wasn't like trying to center you in the lane. This one will keep you in the center of the lane, and it'll let you keep your hands off the wheel for like a minute. It's crazy. It'll be the whole time that we're on the highway. Well, except that we're gonna punch it once, so it won't be able to show me all the time, but it's pretty cool. But you can see just like super smooth power, and the ride quality, as Brett will tell you.
Yeah, it feels like a luxury vehicle. Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, we're on a smooth road right here, but it doesn't even matter. I forgot I was supposed to turn left. Doesn't even matter, because when you get to bumps, it's like, doesn't care. The car doesn't care at all.
Bradley's just in here answering the other people's questions and stuff. He's just getting to it.
Bradley with the proximity.
How many airbags? Kevin, there's 11 airbags.
Wow. I didn't know the number of airbags. I know they've got knee, they've got side, they've got overhead. And it's got a top safety pick plus rating from the IIHS. The NHTSA hasn't reviewed this one yet, hasn't rated it. So I want to also, like, this is a cool, the Lexicon 21 speaker sound system. I love the speaker covers. I love how they're integrated in the design of the door. Sometimes it's just like, it's a round speaker and it just doesn't go with, pardon me, anything. That one looks really cool, how it's designed into the side.
Is this a speaker too?
Yeah, that's a speaker. That's what I'm talking about, Brett.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this. That's a speaker too.
Yeah, I know it's a speaker, but I'm talking about the cool one.
Oh, okay. Well, this goes with the door.
Killing me today.
This one goes with the door.
That one does, but this one goes with the design. Look at it, like, you see these like lines and the shape of the speaker. This infotainment, I've already mentioned that the controller down here isn't the best, but it's super responsive and the graphics are really, really good. Close. I said super responsive and it had delay, but it is pretty darn responsive for a 14.3 inch screen. It's really impressive. So just, there's that popping noise, but let's ignore that for a sec. And here's some bumps. And
I didn't hear the popping.
You didn't hear the popping?
I heard no pop.
Okay, if I'm going crazy,
I think you're going crazy.
That was a bump that you really honestly can't feel at all. You feel like undulation of the car, but that's it. It's so good. The suspension tuning in this car is so good on 20-inch wheels.
Let me know the next time you hear it. And I'll see if I hear it.
All right. We'll go into sport mode. We can do custom mode or eco mode. We'll do eco just so you can see how quiet and smooth it is. Any other questions trickling in about the car? Or is just Bradley just answering all the questions?
He's answering. I keep I'm about to like go and read a question, and then I scroll down a little bit. Bradley already answered it.
Love it.
What segment sedan is this?
Midsize. Midsize luxury sedan. I'll list off the kind of key competitors again. You've got the BMW 5 Series, specifically for the 3.5T all-wheel drive. It's the 540iX drive. Mercedes-Benz E450 4MATIC, the Audi A6, the Volvo S90, the Lexus, would it be the ES? Yeah, ES would be a competitor. All those vehicles, this one stacks up against.
Oh, he said, no, I mean E segment, F segment, depending upon the ABC pillar of the car.
You mean is okay? So I think what he's referring to is it the coupe design sedan, or is it just a traditional sedan? It is a traditional sedan. I'm not super well versed in those codes of segment based on the pillars, but it is not attempting to be a coupe design sedan competing with like the Mercedes-Benz CLS or the BMW 8 Series. It's a traditional sedan, traditional luxury sedan. If that person wasn't there, I would take this corner quickly. So it feels very stable through corners, but you just don't get a ton of feedback through the wheel. All right, so we'll go to sport mode. And it does have paddles on the steering wheel, and I mentioned it's an 8-speed automatic gearbox.
Now Kevin's just asking Bradley the question.
That's great. Go directly to Bradley. Okay, so kicking it down to 4th gear. I mean, it gets moving. 375 horsepower is healthy. It does get moving. The engine sound is not inspiring. There's not much of it, and it doesn't sound bad. It just doesn't like get you all excited.
Yeah.
And granted, you know, Genesis, unlike BMW, isn't piping any noise through the speakers. But as we heard outside it, trying to rev it, there's that. You hear it? Okay.
Oh.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I thought that was just like from the road.
Oh my gosh. No, that is what's been driving me insane. Okay, so let's now go to comfort, and then I'm going to show you the active safety features. So I'll hit mode here.
Should I go over here?
Chill at 65, and we'll go over one more lane because we got emerging traffic. And then when it detects the lane markings, the steering wheel on this thing will go green. Now I can let go of the steering wheel. You shouldn't really, you're supposed to be tapped in, but my hands are just hovering just outside it. And like zoom back a little bit just to see, like, it'll let you keep your hands off the wheel for so long, and it does a great job at staying in the center of the lane. This isn't a perfectly straight road, so it's kind of correcting. Oh, it's actually
Shot the whoop.
okay, so that I had to check in just there just now. But if you're going straight, it won't ever ask you to put your hands on the wheel. If you have a curve and it has to use the steering, it'll start asking you to check in. But it's crushing it. It doesn't have lane change assist like I think BMW and Mercedes-Benz have. So it won't, like, you can't just indicate you're going in one direction, it'll detect and then change lanes for you. But it stops the lane keep assist.
I'm just wondering when the first car is going to come out that you just don't even need to put your hands on the wheel.
When the regulations allow for it, honestly, that's the holdup at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just works so well. I want to get off here because when I go too far, then we start getting into issues with connection, reception. But I mean, just the system for adaptive cruise and lane keep assist is very good. And it also has like a traffic jam assist function. So
So Bradley has where was this? Oh, where did he say it? He has a GV80.
okay, so I knew he chimed in a lot about the GV80. I didn't know he actually had purchased one.
Mm-hmm.
And the GV80, if those of you don't know, is effectively the SUV form of this mid-size class. So this sedan in SUV form, just working up vertically, would be the GV80. And I loved the GV80.
His is the 3.5 liter turbo
Okay, so
Prestige.
Okay, so he's got the same engine, the same package effectively as this vehicle. That helps for context. But fairly quiet in here. On the highway, you do get some wind noise, not tons of it, and you get a tiny bit of chatter from the tires, and that's really, you can blame that on the 20-inch wheels, so you don't have thick sidewalls to cushion and to absorb that noise.
Bradley said, Miles, I went on a well-known highway and my GV80 lasted almost 3 minutes on highway drive assist.
That's crazy.
3 minutes.
I'm honestly not surprised though, Bradley, because there have been times when I just use the system, and if I'm just like paying attention, because it does have a detection to make sure you're still paying attention. If I'm paying attention, it'll just won't have me chime in at all. It's crazy. One of the most sophisticated of these systems that I've experienced.
This quality of the screen is super good.
Yeah, it's really high resolution. Yeah. And again, the fit and finish, the quality of the materials in here is really leading the class, I would argue. Leading the class, seriously.
Not many creaks.
No. There's a creak right there. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I've experienced this on every one of the mid-size luxury cars that I've mentioned. there's always a creak up here on the dashboard. Like always, something in whatever trim panel here, and it has to deal with some damping that they're not going the extra mile to do. Because I was in, what car was I in just recently, where I was pressing on it like crazy and nothing was creaking.
I feel like it's always when there's a wooden something.
Wood or even aluminum. I'll find it in aluminum too. Something that is fairly rigid, that doesn't have much carbon fiber. I'll get that in carbon fiber a lot too. Again, anything super rigid that doesn't have a backing of damping. But yeah, I just want to get back to just the car's strengths are interior quality and design, whether you like the steering wheel or not, the active driving assist features, and the comfort of this vehicle. So comfortable. It is not going to be the sportiest in the segment, the quickest, the best handling. And at this price point, not an insane value. It is a value, not an insane value. But that's where the G80 shines. All the things that I just mentioned. It's a good luxury midsizer.
What was the beeping?
Beeping was either lane departure. I don't think I departed the lane, but it still has the steering mode on. It's still trying to give me steering assistance at, 35 miles per hour.
Young G wants to know what the gas tank size is.
The tank size, I don't know off the top of my head. I just know that
I'm sure Bradley will
chime in, yeah.
Get it.
The fuel economy, however, is 21 combined MPGe from, 19 city and 25 highway. Up here, I'll show you a U-turn, because the turning radius is good on this one as well.
Tuxedo Black Hat asked about my dream car. Well, it's quite the dream. Pagani Huayra BC.
Oh.
That'll take a couple dollars.
That'll take a couple dollars. and Brett works at a facility that modifies these kind of cars, so he's gonna have a better shot of seeing a Huayra than before I will. But he also will see it with like double the horsepower from the factory.
Yeah.
So here's turning radius.
Oh,
really
wow.
tight, like seriously tight turning radius, and that's not with anything like rear wheel steer or anything. It's just a really good turning radius.
Yeah, that was super good.
Yeah. Go to sport. Corners. It's the engine talking to me.
Still actually does pretty well.
Yeah, it's stable. It's for sure stable, and that's the most important thing.
Miles, will you do a POV on the XQ60? Kevin asked.
On the XQ60?
Sorry, QX60.
QX60. I could ask if there's one in the fleet, sure.
Tuxedo Black Hat wants a horn test.
Horn test, you got it, right? I'm gonna try to scare these people back off a little bit from him. What? Oh, that's not good.
That sounds like a clown car.
Oh, the horn is not good.
Wow, that's horrible.
How did they not like test that out and think like?
That
like,
sounds like one of those little toy horns.
Yeah, really, like the.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Excuse me.
That's horrible.
Excuse me. That's like the horn with it. It's like a falsetto horn right there. Oh, that was bad.
Wow, if I need to honk at someone, I'd probably just roll down the window and yell.
Yeah, really.
I think that'd
get your deepest voice, go to, excuse me. Like, I wouldn't want to go.
That's the least effective horn I've ever heard in my life.
I don't even know if anyone would notice that. They're like, oh, what is that? What's going on? Wow. That was really upsetting. I'm glad you asked for that.
Yeah, that's
the Black Cat, because
that needed to be heard.
That needed to be heard.
That changed the review entirely. All right, guys, nobody get this car.
Yeah, just for the horn. It has a horn. I would install a different one.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'd install a upgraded horn feature.
That needs to be a package.
They need that for sure.
Yeah.
Or just switch it out and get a train horn.
That would be also funny in this car.
Oh yeah.
All right, any other questions coming in? Or any other ones from the Instagram questions that I haven't gotten to?
Nicholas asked, is it the same V6 as the G70?
Yes. Yeah, they're using the same engines kind of across the board, the 2.0 turbo and the 3.5 twin turbo V6. One of the people in there asked about whether they felt it was underpowered.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that question.
Who asked that?
Amir Ban.
Amir Ban asked whether it was underpowered as a V6. No, and I'll say this, all of its competitors are using 6-cylinder engines. So except for the S90, which is using a 4-cylinder. So it's definitely not underpowered. It actually makes the most power of the competitive set. The next closest would be the E450 at 362 horsepower. You know, not that much further back, but it doesn't feel at all underpowered. It feels like a really generous amount of power. Of course, I miss the Hyundai Genesis 5.0 V8 because that was just awesome. I loved that engine. It made such a good noise. It was such a sleeper car with a V8. It was so good. I miss the V8, of course, but the 3.5 twin turbo V6 does not feel underpowered.
Let's do a review on a private jet.
On a private jet?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That'd be a cool review.
Yeah, man, it gets moving.
Yeah,
it really gets moving.
It does. Bradley said, that must be a pre-production model. That isn't the real horn. Well, I'm glad.
Maybe it is, Bradley, but thanks for the update on that, or information on that, because yeah, these I just want to do it all the time because it's so upsetting. Oh my gosh, yeah. If it is a pre-production horn, I don't know.
I feel like
but
I think it's one of those things where you wouldn't use it when you're mad. You would use it to like say hello.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Like I imagine like careful Brit just moseying about town, just going, hello.
Yeah, exactly.
If that is pre-production, impressive. But then again, like there's nothing else about this vehicle that looks or feels pre-production, so I wonder if it is, or if this one just got like an unvetted horn, like they didn't QA the horn, and they're just like, oh, there's a horn, stick it in there, and it's not the right one. All right, I'm gonna go back to the adaptive everything because it's just fun. Here's one. It detects the lane marking all the way over there, and it's going to keep me in the center. I don't expect it to deal with this well when we're merging, but there's no one else around me, so I'm okay just to let it try to figure it out. Oh.
It's like trying. No.
Okay, it detected the lane departure, and then the green bars went away, so it's no longer detecting it. But I've not encountered a vehicle that handles that particular stretch of road well anyway.
Didn't we do it pretty good with one car? I forgot what car it was, but there was one that we were in that it actually did it.
Really?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been the Land Rover.
Yeah,
wouldn't have been
it was that.
Was it the 5 Series? I don't know. Like I said, I've driven the best that BMW and Mercedes-Benz have given it. It's not any better than this.
Was it in a Lexus?
Might have been. They've got a pretty good system. Have you not turned on your massage yet? I'm sorry, I didn't tell you to turn your massage. So there's a button on your right-hand side. It's just a button, and when you press it, something should come up on the screen. Like in my case, I pressed it, and it shows up with this on the screen. You can choose what kind of massage you want.
Is it this button? Is it the circular button?
No, it's not. The circular button is your lumbar, so it's just a button towards the top.
I don't have that button.
You don't have the button?
No.
So it's only driver massage.
My side's not
G80.
fancy enough.
Yeah, I guess you don't have the fancy massage. I'd be shocked.
No, Radek said there was a P1 that we missed.
We missed a P1?
There's no way. There's no way.
I mean, it's possible in this area. I've seen 2 P1s in this area, but I feel upset with us.
We're both playing with the massage chair.
Yeah, we're just like, there's P1 that cruises by.
I have this just on the road.
Yeah.
We're just sitting here. What's going on?
They're like, oh, P1.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
LaFerrari.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like all these. Oh, you guys are missing a procession of hypercars.
You guys are missing the rally.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Oh, speaking of rally, Brett will not be here next week because he's.
Bradley said you missed. There was a P1.
There was a P1.
What are we doing?
We're figuring out massage. I'm too comfortable. I'm not able to use my car guy. My senses weren't tingling.
What is wrong with us?
Yeah, so you're on a car rally next week, right?
I will be on a car rally next week.
We don't know which one it is.
It is Hyper Rally.
Hyper Rally. Brett knows which one it is.
Rally.
I didn't know which one it was.
From SSR Performance down to San Diego.
Cool. All right. Well, we're sitting at a stoplight. I think we're gonna end the video.
Yeah, we're at 45 minutes.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining in. And sorry I couldn't figure out the parking assist thing. Oh well. And next week, what do we got? Good question.
I hope it's not cool.
Oh, I think it's an all electric car. Let's find out which one it is. See you guys next week.